And we are live on the Uncle Pucker New Jersey Devil YouTube channel where we're not going to talk New Jersey Devils today. We're going to talk some football. It's me and Tone today. Tim is maybe hopping in later. I think he's helping an Amish guy, his Amish neighbor or something with the dogs. I don't know. But what's up, Tony? How are you?
Doing good, man. Did you guys do a show last night? A
We
Pucker
did.
show? Oh, you
Yes.
did. See, yeah, I
Yeah,
was.
we did it. We did a show around 7 o'clock or so last night. So
Okay.
it was pretty good. You should check it out. And anybody
Yeah,
else who didn't listen to it, check it out.
yeah,
So
man. Yeah, I missed it. It's been a long week. I got one of those little head colds. I went to a Ukrainian traveling circus, dude, which was actually like right by us, and it was like one of those creepy circuses. Like the people were actually living in the campers that were going. It was the whole spiel. Like you remember Something Wicked This Way Comes that
of
came
course,
out? It was kind of had this vibe to it, you know. It was like six people running the whole thing, and they were like
please
doing
tell me
like
they had a freak show.
no, but it was kind of like they were doing shit that you could die from, and it's just six people, and they were switching outfits. Problem was, is my wife bought front row tickets, and I didn't want her to do this,
Oh, you were in
and
the splash zone. The guy come out
the
with a
the,
watermelon and a
the
giant
fucking
sledgehammer.
clown would not leave me three. I actually almost thought I was gonna have to have a problem with the clown, dude. There was the
Right.
main clown for the whole circus, and for some reason came over first, knocks my hat off my head in front of everybody. Like there's all these Lithuanians, you know, are like watching. I'm like, okay. Then he comes with an air blower and comes behind me and blows my like during this whole show. Then he makes me stand
Dude,
up and he's
first
like
of all, you
pulls the
got to know anybody for all the listeners, like you don't mess with Tony's hair. Okay, it's the
yeah,
one
yeah.
thing that he absolutely has taken more better care of than anything else on his
I
life
kept it all
before
these
his
years. Isn't that
children.
crazy?
You know, so you don't mess with Tony's hair. So just to preface it that
I,
way.
the clown was fucking with me, and like I told my wife, I was like, oh, you know, and for some
Look at
reason,
this
like I said,
clown, babe. I'm gonna
oh,
punch this
dude.
fucking clown.
And I'm getting a cold before the show. You know, I'm starting to feel like shit before I get there. My kids are all excited. I'm like, okay, you know, this, yeah, the clown was bugging me, but it was
Great
kind of cool
day.
that it was one of those old school circuses like you see on the horror movies, kind of. But did that, man, and then woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning for the Raider game. Disappointment.
Raider game. So I actually missed it because it was a 10 o'clock start here, so I didn't get a chance to watch any of it. So I saw the score. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, what'd you first of all think of this week's games in general? We'll talk a little bit deeper into the Vikings and the Raider games because those are our teams, but like all around, I mean, I thought that it was a pretty fun week of football. I thought that Giants Dallas game was
I was kind of hoping
what a
Dallas
great
was going to
game.
pull that off, though, man. I don't like Dallas. Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
like Dallas either, but I so don't give a shit about either one of those teams that I
that
really,
pass, though, that Russell threw at the end was pretty impressive, though.
dude. That I mean, Russ was like, okay, I heard what everybody said last week. I mean, I said on this show last week, right? Like, I don't ever want to see Russ. I'm okay if I never see Russell Wilson throwing a football in the NFL again. He
Yeah.
was so bad week one, and then to play the way he played in week two, that was pretty impressive.
It's the Chiefs lost, which is always nice. You know, unfortunately, we didn't take advantage of that. But the Chiefs lost, and I think the Chiefs ship is changing sail. It's looking like a little different than it has in the past. You know, Daniel Jones. I mean, shit. I mean, maybe he needed a change of helmets. You know,
He's
I
kind of the
mean,
guy that everybody talks about, like with the Vikings, like they let Sam Darnold go. They didn't sign Aaron Rodgers when he wanted to come there. My biggest thing is they let Daniel Jones walk. I thought that Daniel Jones as the backup was the perfect spot for him. Well, apparently I was wrong because Indianapolis is a better spot for him because he's starting
change of
and doing
environment
well.
though. New York eats you up, man. It's like you know,
Yeah,
you either can handle it or you can't. You know.
and he's playing. He's actually Indy has won me the most money out of anything that I've bet so far. Like anything that I've done with Indy, I've hit. So, and I
Oh,
had yeah, I had a couple of parlays that I put together last weekend, and the one that hit for like $50, a $5 bet, was all Indy props. I just hit all Indy props, and Daniel Jones took care of it.
oh.
So I was
New
pretty
England
happy.
too, man. I mean, I know we're gonna talk about all these games, but there was a couple things that looked a little different than last week out there. I was kind of
Yes.
impressed with some of the New England play. Um, Green Bay is going to be. I mean, Green Bay is going to be tough, and I don't know how you want to do this, Chris. Do you want to talk about it as we go through the games? Because of course I'm going
Yeah.
to mention what Detroit did to Chicago and shit. So I mean,
So we
I don't know how
got,
you want to do it.
Green Bay. Where was that game? Green Bay, Washington. That was the Thursday night game. Green Bay won 27-18, and everybody is talking about Green Bay. The Green Bay Packers are the Super Bowl favorite after week 2. I hate when teams do this. Like we literally have, or with the media, I should say, but we literally have no idea whatsoever who's going to be in the Super Bowl, who's going to win. It's week freaking 2. So much changes throughout
We just
the
know
year.
the Browns aren't going to be there. I mean, besides that, we don't really.
And we know that the Raiders and the Vikings probably aren't going to be there.
Yeah, either. I was reliving the 3-0 game for me and you a couple years ago.
Oh God! And now you and Tim took Green Bay for the win. I took Washington. That was just my homer bet, hoping that Washington was going to. But Washington is now 0-2, right? Or no, they won week 1. They beat
won week 1.
They beat the Giants
without a quarterback next week, which is good for Vegas. That's going to help us.
Who's their backup?
I don't know actually. Marietta.
Oh God, really?
Well, of course, he's going to try to get some revenge on the Raiders, though, because
they're going to look like a completely different team. Washington. I don't give them a chance with Marcus Mariota quarterbacking them. I really don't.
Yeah, he's going to be heading. He's going to be the quarterback, I guess. I thought was interesting about the Green Bay game. Did you hear what the Green Bay fans were chanting?
No, thank you, Jerry. Yeah. And it was pretty. I mean, I hated seeing them win, especially looking as good as they did. And it's just like, holy shit, like maybe I was wrong about Jordan Love. Maybe he is a guy that can take this team to a Super Bowl. They're my most hated team and I hate seeing it. So anytime Packer fans celebrate, it makes me angry.
Well, we said too, this is his time. I mean, shit, we're a Devils podcast really so most of the time. And we always say with the Devils, this is their time. Well, this is Jordan Love's time. It's time for him to do it.
Like his 4th year. He's shown glimpses of being able to put it all together. The team is well coached. I think Matt LaFleur is a hell of a play caller. I think he's very underrated as a play caller and a head coach. I think he's very good. So yeah, Green Bay can absolutely win the NFC this year. I believe that, unless injuries, befall them. Like we've seen now with a lot of teams already into week 2. Now, I'd rather have all my injuries now than deal with them later on in the season, but it's still not good when you're dealing with injuries this early.
What's up, Snow?
Hey, Jason. I didn't even pop in the comments here. Let's see. Hello, Jay.
Here we go with the her. Yeah, so he's a good quarterback, but I have to say, I don't know, Snow, did you watch the game? I mean, me and Chris were talking about it. I woke up at 5:00 in the morning here in Europe to watch the game. To see Geno throw the first pass for an interception was a heartbreaker, but he's good, man. But I have to say, the Raiders had some chances last night. They just sucked.
I always like Justin Herbert.
Yeah, but
always liked them, and I know
it's his time too. 6 seasons, it's time for him to get it done too. I mean, he's a good quarterback, but last night was not him dominating us.
So we got the Buffalo Jets. I'm sorry, let's do the Giants and Cowboys game. That was, to me, the game of the day. That was so much fun. 37-40. Dallas ends up winning it in overtime. We all took Dallas for the win, but that was impressive. Just a fun game. Whoever had the ball last was going to win. Out of basically 2 teams that I literally do not give a flying shit about. I hate both of these teams, but it was a fun game.
I'm weird with the Giants. Like, obviously, you know me, Chris, I'm just a Raider fan. I don't have a side teams and stuff. But my grandfather, as you know, I was very close with him, and he was a huge Giants fan. Like, jump on the coffee table, scream at the TV when I was a kid. You had to eat dinner at 1:00 at the house on Sundays there if you didn't want it. Yeah, I remember we'd work at the sawmill. I'd come back at like 6 in the morning, and then next thing you know, like there's pasta on the table. But big Giants fan, Davey Maggott, Jim Morris. He used to love Jim Morris with Phil Simms, Mark Bavaro, all those guys. So I always have a little bit of a spot for the Giants, and I'm sure the Giant fans thought they had it last night.
Oh, I was working, and I'm in the way back in the kitchen, and I hear the bar just going nuts, and it's like pretty far away from where I'm at, and I hear the place going crazy. So I was watching Red Zone, so like I knew they were about to pop to something that the Giants had done, and then it just went back and forth. Like, what a fun game, man. If you have no stock in that game or you're not a Giant fan, like it was just a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
And we'll go to the other New York team. So the Jets and Buffalo, we all took Buffalo for the win. That was bad. That was 30-10. Justin Fields gets injured. Looks like a concussion. He's in protocol. So I don't know if he'll be starting next week or it's going to be, who's their backup? Tyrod Taylor, right? I think so. Yeah. And Buffalo, dude, they look solid. I mean, Josh Allen is the man. I mean, talk about a team that is primed and ready to go and win it, with Kansas City struggling, Buffalo being as good as they are. Because I believe in Buffalo more than Baltimore. I don't know about you. What do you think?
If it wasn't for Buffalo's history, definitely. I think we talked about maybe last week or the week before that. Like I think someone said they would rather have, and I'm not talking like obviously pre-injury, just as a total guy, people would rather have Burrows as that's who they would start their team with, right? But how do you not take Allen? I mean, just has everything. Like to me, like something I would love in Vegas. Obviously, the guy like this, the reason he was the MVP last year. I think I actually would like to see Buffalo win. Obviously, if it's not my team or
okay. So if it's not your team, if the Raiders can't win the Super Bowl this year, who do you want to see win the Super Bowl? And don't be like Minnesota because you're a fan. Like, no, fuck that.
No. It would probably be a team like Buffalo because we're suffering fans, right? And they're suffering fans too.
Oh, yeah,
so we know what it's like, Like I don't. As long as it's not, of course, I hate Denver and I hate Kansas City, and I don't like. I always call them San Diego, but I don't like the Chargers. To me, they're always San Diego, but I know it's Los Angeles Chargers. But it'd be Buffalo, I guess. I mean, I don't, I don't hate the Saints. I don't hate those teams, but I think Buffalo has suffered maybe more than we all have because they've had it. They've been this close so many times. And I picture Allen sitting on the bench last year, just looking like he was going to cry because it's
like another year that you did everything you possibly could do and you come up short. It's just so frustrating. But Jay Snow is right. Buffalo's defense is not very good, but they don't have to be.
No,
like
San Diego defense, Snow is nasty, isn't it? That defense is good.
Well, that's Jim Harbaugh to a T, right? Like Jim Harbaugh, if you look at all of his teams, whether it was in Stanford, in San Francisco, Michigan, and now with the Chargers, it is a team based. It's heavy run and defense, and it's a solid system. It's the way a lot of teams win. Giants don't win Super Bowls without that formula and all that. That's how he plays. That's how he does. Now he has a secret weapon though that he never had before, and that's a guy in the back who's 6'5" with a cannon for an arm, and
got legs, which is
and he can move. So to me, that this is could be the best Harbaugh team that we've ever seen. I think the Chargers are absolutely primed to take that division if they stay healthy this year and finally
get better. I mean, watching them last night, like I said, they were good. The defense is huge. Matt got hurt right away, which was actually good for Vegas. I don't like to see him get hurt, but I mean, he was a pain in the ass right away last night.
Right.
He got injured. San Diego will get better as the year goes on. Like I said, last night, I felt like the Raiders really shot themselves in the foot like a bunch of different ways. But you know how that is. When you watch a game and you get dominated, you don't get dominated. I don't think they're dominated. But San Diego, you can see this team just getting better as the season goes on. I mean, dude, you couldn't throw further than 10 yards last night against them. They were cutting off everything. I mean,
he knows what he's doing. Jim Harbaugh is a heck of a coach. And then we'll go to 49ers, New Orleans. 49ers won that one. What was that? 26-21. Not much of a game there. Purdy was out. Mac Jones started. New Orleans actually looked a lot better than I thought that they were going to look. I mean, I don't know if San Francisco is that very good. I don't think so. But that game, you guys.
And Rattler fumbled at the end of that game. Remember, they could have won that game, but he fumbled.
I gotta let my dogs out real quick.
No problem, dude.
Talk about Rattler for a second.
Yeah, Rattler. I mean, he lost that game for him. I mean, yeah, like Snow, like I was saying, man, San Diego is going to get better and better, dude. And I agree about Phillip. But last night was a little frustrating because you cannot throw 3 interceptions and do that. So, but but I can't stand Shanahan. No, can't stand Shanahan.
Oh, I mean. Yeah, see what Jay's right. Shanahan can coach a fucking cockroach. He's a good coach, but if you look at Shanahan's teams in big games, he crumbles, man. He crumbles. I mean, he was the offensive coordinator in that 28-3 debacle in the Super Bowl for Atlanta and Tom Brady and the Patriots. He lost 2 Super Bowls. No, he only lost 1 Super Bowl, right? To Kansas City, right?
Yes.
Harbaugh was the other coach that lost, I think. Might have been Shanahan twice, but I don't know. He's a heck of a coach too, but got to win the big game.
Yeah, this is the only time that Mahomes started out 0-2, I guess, in his whole career. Someone was telling me today.
Yes, which is crazy. It's crazy, but they just don't look very good.
No,
Kansas
no.
City. We'll get to them. We're not there yet. We're at this other team now. If Tim were here, he'd be talking Baltimore, Cleveland. This was a huge spread. I think it was like 12 and a half, 13-point spread. I took Cleveland on a parlay just because I'm like, there's no way. It's a divisional game. Baltimore, let a shitload of points in from Buffalo last week. I think they're going to win this thing, but I don't think it's going to be a 2-touchdown win. I was right. It wasn't a 2-touchdown win. It was 41-17.
Yeah.
I mean, Baltimore just laid the smackdown on the Browns. I actually feel bad for Cleveland fans a lot. But,
Yeah.
I mean, what can you say about Baltimore?
They've suffered too. I mean, Baltimore, they're just, I hate Baltimore, but they're nasty. I mean, just they always feel the team. As much as I always think they're going to start going backwards. I mean, obviously they got a, quarterback / running back, as I always say, which Tim doesn't like. But Baltimore, I do agree. I think you said at the beginning of this show, I just don't picture Baltimore winning at the end, though. For some reason, they always find a way to leave, So, I mean, but they're going to put up a lot of points this year. That's why which we called it last week. The game of the year might have been last week. You had Buffalo, Baltimore. It went down like that. That was an amazing game. I mean,
and then, like you say, in the AFC, you got Buffalo. You have Baltimore, Kansas City. Are they going to be? Are they going to be there? Are they going to come back? Are they going to
What's
get better?
Denver going to be? We don't know yet.
What's Denver going to be? To me, the three teams. I mean, it's only 2 weeks in. You can't tell shit, but it's Baltimore, Buffalo, and Chargers. Those are the 3 teams right now that are. So, all right, then we go to the Rams and Tennessee. That was a 5.5-point spread, which I thought that the Titans were going to actually hold on to, maybe covering that, and then the Rams just laid their smackdown 33-19. As long as Matt Stafford's healthy, the Rams are going to be a really, really good team, and their defense is solid. I mean, I really don't have much to say about this game.
Yeah, I actually didn't even watch the highlights, but I did see the score because I always try to keep track of what's going on with Adams. But Stafford, yeah, I mean, like we always say, his kryptonite is his back. If that doesn't get to him, I mean, he's going to win games. I mean, there's a reason why he gets the money he does. I know the Raiders tried to court him too. Also, Brady actually met up with him, and it just didn't work out. But healthy, he gives a team just as much as a shot as anybody else.
He does. Now I have to let my dogs in. I will be right back.
No problem. The Eagles are so. The Eagles are tough. Yeah, it's nice to see Kansas City start to go. I mean, I'm hoping that they're going back, right? I mean, who could feel bad for that team? How could you feel bad for Kansas City? Of course, I'm a hater of Kansas City, but the Eagles, yeah, I mean, Tampa too, which we'll talk about. Me and Chris were talking about before we came on. Tampa's another one that looks good, man. Baker.
Then we had Jacksonville. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What do you want to say about Baker?
I was just saying they're a sneaky team, Tampa, because people don't have their eye on them.
Jacksonville and Cincinnati. Jacksonville lost 27-31. They lost Joe Burrow in this game to turf toe. Looks like he's going to be out a few weeks. So next week it looks like Bengals are coming to Minnesota. It's going to be Browning against Wentz. I mean, everyone
he pulled it off last week though. That was pretty slick though. I was happy for him.
Yeah, it was a good game too. It was a good game. It sucks seeing Burrow go down though. I mean, Cincinnati is. Yeah, and he's always hurt. It's like every other year he's just dealing with injuries. And when he's healthy, he's fantastic. I've said it a million times. I'll take this guy number 1 overall, but he cannot stay healthy. That's a problem. We'll get into their game next week against the Vikings when we do our picks. And then we move up to Seattle, Pittsburgh. This was another good game. My boy Sammy Darnold looking pretty freaking good in that game.
Oh.
Steelers lost. Seahawks won that game 31-17. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, and I think that game, Burrows is always banged up. I do like Burrows though. That quarterback special, Snow. You saw that on Netflix. Kind of, man, he's definitely a likable kid, but he is always injured.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. We're talking about some Burrows.
I left my back door open a little bit so Turbo can come in, and I didn't realize that my cat was. I thought she was upstairs, and she's an inside cat, and I saw her now just come out from the basement and try and sneak outside, so I had to get up real quick and make sure she doesn't get out.
What's your cat's name?
Marcy.
Marcy.
I have 2 cats, Marcy and BMO, and Buster. Rigby and Turbo are my dogs.
We got Medusa, and then we got this child that's behind me.
And you got that's a crazy.
How'd you get in here?
Crazy looking dog. Who's that?
It's
Hello. She ran away.
Yeah, she ran away. That's the original Texas Chainsaw behind me. It's actually signed by the cast too. It's over our dinner table.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's signed
That's
by even
awesome.
the cook, everybody, all the deceased Gunnar Henson and all that.
Chicago, Detroit. So Ben Johnson, right, loses to
Fuck 'em.
Minnesota. Yeah, I can't stand Ben Johnson. He's
Yeah.
a smug little asshole. I don't like him. That he takes the job. First of all, he wanted this job in Chicago over any other job. Gets the job, believes that he's the guy that can turn Caleb Williams around. Loses last week to Minnesota. Now this is the big game. Week 2, you're going back to Detroit, where this guy did nothing but piss off every other team that he ever played. He ran the score up. He would pull the trick plays out. He was always you hated him because his teams were good in Detroit, and he had no problem just stepping on your throat. So this guy goes there, and Dan Campbell, gotta say, I mean, they just whooped the shit out of the Bears, 52-21. I think it's safe to say that all the hyperbole about Detroit being done because Ben Johnson left them after week 1, I think we can throw that away. I think Detroit's going to be fine. 52 freaking points against a really suspect Chicago team.
If I was going to make a movie and had to have a high school football coach, does Dan Campbell not fit? Like, is that not the picture perfect, like high school football coach? Like that dude just reads high school football coach look. No, I was glad to see them do it. Obviously we all know that anybody who knows me, as Chris does, I am a bitter Raider fan, and they were denied by this coach, so who went over to Chicago. So of course I hope he doesn't have the success that everyone thought he was going to have. And you said something earlier. I don't even know I don't think we were recording. Everyone thinks that he's going to make Caleb Williams into this and that and this and that. Is he really, though? I mean,
I think that Caleb Williams has a very, like, all the raw skill. I understand all that. I get it. I get that that's what people fell in love with when they saw him in college, the off-schedule stuff. I never was a big fan of him in college. I prefer guys that can play on schedule, guys that can see the field better. And he just can't do that. And once he gets off of his first read, once you take away that first read, I don't know if he has a clue how to process the game, how to check down, how to go through reads, how to stay in the pocket and deliver the ball. He gets happy feet every single time he gets pressured. And then when he's pressured, he's off schedule. And when he's off schedule, he's throwing balls into the fucking hot dog stands. Like, he's just, to me, I don't think he's mentally capable of being a very good starting quarterback. Definitely not what people expect him to be. So I think that Ben Johnson will get him to be okay. But I also think if they go 0-4, 0-5, I do think they bench him and they put in Tyson Bagent. And I'll say this, if Tyson Bagent, who is an undrafted Division II quarterback, this guy didn't even play Division I, I think he can probably run this offense better than Caleb Williams because Tyson Bagent is able to stay in the pocket and deliver balls on time. And I think that if that ends up happening and they bench Caleb or whatever happens, and if Tyson Bagent gets a chance to play, I guarantee that he plays better than Caleb, and that is going to cause such a shit show and a storm in Chicago of what to do next. And so that's going to be kind of interesting.
But, yeah, I mean, I agree. Wait 1 second, Chris. I got to take care of something really fast here.
Go ahead. So, yeah, I mean, I never really liked Caleb, and it probably because, I knew he was going to Chicago. But when you actually see about how Ryan Poles and the Bears, they were not even looking at any other quarterbacks in that draft. And they called, I think Jaden Daniels' team 2 weeks or so before the draft saying they wanted to get a meeting with him. And Daniels people were, well, why? You didn't meet with us all the time. You said Caleb. Now you want to meet with us? No, we're not interested. So I think that was an issue. I thought that you have the first draft pick. You have the pick of the litter of who to go and get. Take your time and go through deliberately, do your due diligence, and pick the best quarterback that you think is for your team. I don't necessarily know if I think Caleb is the guy, but whatever. We'll talk about the New England-Miami game when Tony comes back, but we'll just go over it real quick. New England ends up winning that one 33-27. I have Miami. Hey, Tone. I'm just talking a little bit about the Miami New England game.
Ah,
New England wins that one 33-27. I had said Miami is going to be picking in the top 3 or 4 in the draft, and now it really does look that way. That team's a friggin' disaster. They are such
New
a
England looked better than last week too, man. There were some improvements in the quarterback
Yeah.
area. I definitely saw him moving better. Yeah, it was definitely Miami. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna they may finish with the worst record this year. It's definitely a
Yeah, they
possibility.
might.
Jessica Biel was very hot back in the day. Yes, but there's no way that better than the first Texas Chainsaw Man. But what do you think about Jessica Biel, Chris, back in the day?
I mean, I would think that she's probably, it says it when she
Probably
used to
still
be hot.
hot. She's
She no
probably
longer
still
hot.
smoking.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, she was always gorgeous.
yeah.
So I never saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with her in it, though. I don't know that one.
I have, yeah. I remember she was on that show, Seventh Heaven. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember the show. I never saw
And
it.
the dad got arrested for they found a bunch of child porn on his computer or some shit like that. The one from the show, the one who played the priest.
Really?
It's funny how that worked.
Yeah.
The connection there, but yeah.
I never watched Seventh Heaven or Touched by an Uncle or an Angel, whatever the hell. But yeah. All right, Turbo. Hang on. It's fucking dogs. I swear.
That's okay, man.
I'll be right back.
No problem.
This is ridiculous.
Snow, what do you think? Daniels with Indianapolis, man. It seems like that was a good spot for him, maybe. Just to get, I think it's probably getting out of New York was a good thing for him. Some people just can't deal with it. I mean, sometimes a change of scenery. Me and Chris were talking about that earlier. That for Daniels, that might have been the best thing.
What was that?
Getting out of New York.
Oh, we're talking about Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
Jay,
he's not talking about Daniel Jones.
Talking about Daniels.
Yes.
Talking about that Chicago never wanted him.
Yeah, that makes sense now. I came into this guy. Yes.
Yeah. So, all right, the next game we got Carolina, Arizona. We didn't talk about that one, did we?
No.
Arizona wins that 27-22. Panthers fall to 0-2. The Cardinals, believe, are 1-1. I'm what I'm going to say about that game. It was the battle of midgets. Two quarterbacks that aren't over 5'8".
And we could say that about these guys, and that's rare.
Yeah, they're all height. So I don't have much to say about that game. I mean, Bryce Young looks like another guy that just can't figure it out. I mean, he looked great last year, right? The end of the year, I mean, took Kansas City to the limit. They almost beat Philadelphia. Like, oh shit, maybe Bryce Young's starting to figure it out, right? He, looking like he can maybe play quarterback in this league. And then inexplicably, they go and trade his best wide receiver to Minnesota and Adam Thielen, who was, okay, I get it. Maybe not the most talented receiver on that team, but he's your veteran go-to guy that is a rock for Bryce Young to be able to, lean on and help him out. And he was a huge help to Bryce Young for those first 2 years. So they trade him to Minnesota. I'm not complaining. I like Adam Thielen. I'll take him back. But Bryce Young is looking like he did every year so far, other than the end of last year. Like, is he ever going to figure it out? I don't know. And same thing with Kyler. Kyler does things on the football field that I'm just like, my goodness, this guy is amazing. And, and then he just falls apart. Like, I don't understand it, but maybe the height has something to do with these two guys.
And the last two Cardinals games the last 2 weeks have just been kind of, who did they play last week? Was it Jacksonville? I want to say. I forget who they played last week. It was another one of those games where you don't even watch the high, like it's not on your radar.
Yeah, I agree. You kind of forget about them all the time.
Yes.
Who the hell did they play last week? I don't even.
It was one of those games too. I know that we were kind of like.
Oh, they played the Saints.
Oh, the Saints, yeah.
And they won 20-13. That's right.
Saints could have, like we said earlier, Saints could have had that game though, man. They could have at least when he fumbled that ball, it was kind of like we weren't surprised, but.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Saints fan, you got to look at these last two games, and they're both losses, but there's a lot of good that you can take if you're a Saints fan, I mean, I'd rather be a Saints fan now than a Dolphin fan.
Yeah.
All right, then we get into Denver, Indianapolis. This one, man, I know you're happy about this, right? The Colts end up winning this thing 29-28. I'm trying to remember, was this was the game that I'm trying to remember the exact highlights, but I'm almost positive, right?
The field goal at the
The
end.
field goal at the end,
Yep.
and they missed a field goal, and it ended up being a penalty on Denver, moved it up, and they ended up making it. So Denver went from we won to, oh, fuck, we took a penalty to, oh, shit, we lost in a matter of a minute and a half, which was pretty awesome. I think the Colts are for real. I think people should not sleep on the Colts, especially.
I picked them. I think that I picked them pretty high this year too. If you remember, everyone was laughing.
I got to go back and look at where we picked them
I
in the
forget
division,
too,
but you might be right.
It.
You might be right. I mean, I know I don't think I took them to win, but I think I took them to come in second in the South.
I think that's where I had them second. Maybe I can't remember. I have to look.
Yeah. All right, and then we go to Philadelphia, Kansas City. Kansas City wins this thing 20-17. I mean, Philadelphia wins it 20-17. Kansas City now 0-2. Are they done, Tone?
I don't think they're done because I do think when you have him as the quarterback, you're not done. I think there's going to be a lot of frustration. I saw some comment if it was legit. That's the problem. You don't know what's legit anymore. I mean, I saw a comment that he said the cards are stacked against them. And I mean, come on, dude. You guys have had the cards in your favor for the last couple of years. I feel no pity for that. You know, well, they're playing the Eagles too. I can't forget they're playing Philly. No, I don't think Philly. I have to look at the stats though. I did see. I don't think Philly had a great game though against them. I just think Kansas City. You know, starting to show
Jalen. I mean, Jalen Hurts, real quick. He only went 15 for 22 for 101 yards. Yeah. Saquon had a touchdown. He had 22 carries for 88 yards, and the highest receiver was Smith with 53 yards on 4 receptions. So no, they were not lighting them up. That's for sure.
And I think the thing with Kansas City is that's what's going to be fun for someone like me who's a rival of that team is I think if they do lose they're going to come apart. There's going to be a lot of that comments. There's going to be a lot of that thing that the circus is going to start there because they're so used to success. You know, I saw they had Taylor Swift at the game and they had did you see this? They had a gigantic board. So when she walked out, they covered her. And these guards followed her with this big black wall so you couldn't see her walking down the corridor. You know, it was absolutely ridiculous. She didn't want to be seen, I guess. There's actually footage of it on like all these web pages, but you'll actually see they pulled up a big thing and she walks out and they're blocking her the whole time as she walks. Like it's going to be, you know, remember Tony Romo and Jessica Simpson.
That's right.
It'll kind of have that kind of thing going on eventually, I think.
And if you like Kelsey has not been very good. Yeah. I mean, he dropped a couple of like surefire touchdowns already in the last 2 weeks. So, all right, then we go to my game, Atlanta, Minnesota. Minnesota was favored by 5.5. They got their asses handed to them 22-6. Both teams are now 1-1, Atlanta and Minnesota. Minnesota looked terrible. I mean, their offensive line is really beat up. We're on our third left tackle in that game. We're on our backup center. The last 2 positions on the O-line you want to deal with. J.J. McCarthy did not look good at all, just throwing the ball to whoever the hell he wanted to. He is hurt now. It looks like he's going to be out a couple of weeks. Carson Wentz is going to take over, which I'm fine with. I'm totally fine with Carson Wentz.
Just say your theory that you told me.
Well, I think theory. You got to give JJ a little bit of, you know, leeway here. I mean, so many people are saying the kid's done. He's a bust. You cannot make that any kind of evaluation on this kid after 2 games. And if you look at the last week, just the last week, the kid had a very all last season, right? Injured, doesn't get to play, comes back this year, does everything the right way, goes into week 1. It's a Monday night standalone game against a division rival, ton of pressure. Kid has an emotional 4th quarter, brings his team back to the win. He's the offensive player of the week, which is crazy. And it's crazy that people got upset about that. Like, we only had 1 good quarter. It's offensive player of the fucking week. It's not like we're giving the kid an MVP award. It's a bullshit award voted on by like 8 people. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
So anyway, wins the award. Thursday, his girlfriend has a baby. His fiance has a baby. Becomes a dad. Rolling to Sunday night, all in a week, right? Sunday night now, standalone game at home opener against the Falcons. This is a lot for, by the way, he's the youngest quarterback starting in the league at 22 years old.
And a good Falcon team.
Against a very good Falcon team. who actually has pass rushers now, whose defense looks pretty decent. They have weapons all over. I don't know about their coach. Not a big Raheem Morris fan, but it was not a game that anybody could take lightly. I thought Kevin O'Connell called the game like shit early on. I think that sometimes he can't get out of his own fucking way as far as just making easy plays for these guys, these quarterbacks, to kind of ease into the game and get them going. I think that he sometimes just forgets that we have a running game and that we could just lean on Jordan Mason. The guy's a fucking bowling ball. He's like 5'10", 245 pounds. Like, just let him run and open everything up. And it feel like they just go backwards sometimes. So I don't know what's going to happen this year with them. I think they have a great roster. The quarterback issue is an issue right now. And I think JJ is going to be fine. But I also think that we got to give the kids some room to make mistakes and grow and develop.
You gotta get your snaps in, man. You gotta make the mistakes. You gotta make those bad judgments. You need to feel like a dipshit in front of the crowd. You need to have this happen. He's young, man. So it's, and like we were saying, if you have to give him the snaps when he does get healthy, because if not, you might as well just kept Sam.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I think, yes, you have to do it. Even though you think your roster is ready to win now, I think that JJ, if he only misses a week or two, it's not a big deal. Let him get back in, kind of ease himself back in. Hopefully the offensive line is healthy enough that when he gets back, that Darisaw will be back at left tackle. Kelly will be back at center. We're also missing Harrison Smith on the secondary. There's a lot of injuries going on right now. But they have to do a better job at how they call this game for a young player. I expect them to call the game against Cincinnati on Sunday the same way he would with Sam Darnold now that Carson Wentz is there. He's going to have Carson Wentz throwing the ball all over the fucking place. Yeah. And Carson Wentz, I would bet, is probably going to look pretty good against Cincinnati on Sunday.
Yeah, especially now you got no Barrows. You guys definitely got it's going to be a little more fun for you to watch.
You're going to have a lot of people, if they go and win the game, that, Wentz should get the start and keep him as a starter and just have McCarthy back him up. McCarthy has to get in there. And he's going to have to – Viking fans are going to have to live with the mistakes he makes.
Yeah.
I think he's good enough and smart enough and strong enough, mentally tough enough, that the mistakes aren't going to be things that he repeats over and over again. So – you
got to find out either way eventually. It's
right. I mean, that's it too.
Football is a little less forgiving than some other sports. You sometimes you don't have 5 years to get your shit together. So it's good to see what you have at the end of the day.
People always talk especially the younger people, right? The guys that are always in their 20s, early 30s, that are on social media, that are the first ones to bitch and moan and bash people and all this other. They don't understand. Go back and look at, what do you think Peyton Manning did his first year? Troy Aikman, these guys were not, guys that came out and looked like CJ Stroud and or Jaden Daniels. No, they looked a lot more like JJ McCarthy did on Monday night. They made tons of mistakes. I think both of them, their first year only won one game. Now, granted, they didn't have good teams around them, but still, any good quarterback, when they're thrown in there, they're going to take lumps. You just got to live with it. All right, which takes us to Tampa Bay, Houston, which was last night. Tampa Bay wins that thing late, 20-19. Houston's 0-2. Tampa's 2-0. I mean, look, the Bucs are a good team.
And they're a sneaky team. That's a sneaky team.
I think if anybody discounts them, and Jay Snow's right. Eli Manning was dog shit his first year, and it happens. It's just, you have to grow and people get better. So I'm not concerned. If this goes on all year and the Vikings miss the playoffs or they only win 4 or 5 games because of JJ's play, well, then I will definitely be concerned, because you do have 52 other guys on a roster that you have to account for. You have to.
Yeah, and some guys don't want to sit and wait for a guy to grow.
You think Justin Jefferson's going to sit there and Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen and these guys, all these guys you brought in, they're not going to sit around and just say, well, okay, we're going to
3 years.
Right. No, they're going to want to win now. So we'll see what happens. But the Bucs, I think any NFC team takes the Bucs lightly, you're going to lose. They're
Baker Mayfield. I mean, it's. And obviously I spent a lot of time in Tampa because I have a place there too. And the guy's loved by the community. I mean, of course I'm not a Bucs fan, but If I was a Bucks, I gotta say, man, those Tampa teams. We talk about them, the Puckers, the Lightning, and Tampa Bucks, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously now you have Florida Panthers too. I mean, Florida's people can say. I mean, there's a lot of fucked up things in Florida, but it's a pretty successful little sports place now, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as you're cool with your children getting mumps and measles and all kinds of other shit, because
Everyone carry
I don't
guns
know.
to the game now and shoot them up in the air.
But hey, don't pay taxes, so good for them.
You heard about that? So now you can carry there, which is fine. My dad has it going, whatever. But now you actually can I guess have them out if you want. You can wear them on a holster or
Of course you
go to
can.
the mall or
Of
something
course,
like
why
that.
not? Oh boy. All right. So a final game, which we talked a little bit about, was the Chargers and the Raider game from last night. Raiders lose 20-9. I mean, any final thoughts on that, Tone?
I'm gonna keep it as short as I can. Yeah, it's offensive line sucked. First pass was an interception. Geno threw 3. He was trying to get the ball where he just didn't have it last night. He was trying to get it where it shouldn't have been, and it could have been 4 or 5 interceptions. Herbert looked good, but he didn't look as good as he did week 1. I mean, like I said, he's a great quarterback, but Raiders really sucked last night in a lot of ways, and it was kind of really disappointing. Even Max, seems like we didn't totally show up. Brock's hurt, so that was a big issue. You could just tell they had him in the lineup to have him in the lineup. I think he had 5 receptions for maybe 50 or 60 yards. I kind of knew right away. Like I said, it was a tough game to watch, especially the home opener for them. But I think the Raiders will be fine. I think
Sucks losing the home opener, doesn't it?
Home opener sucks. I do think that they got Washington next week, who has no quarterback, so that's obviously going to be a big plus for the Raiders. And hopefully they fix a lot of stuff that happened this week, because there is a lot of question marks. We were talking earlier. Mac got hurt right away. He was already causing trouble too in the first 10 minutes of the game before he got injured. He's had a thing with the Raiders, so
he's always injured, though, Mac, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when he left the Raiders, he went to Chicago, and I kind of did one of those, which is probably Gruden's fault at the end of the day, actually, because Gruden traded him there.
Right.
Which Gruden, now obviously with the Brady rumor that he was going to be a Raider too, and Gronkowski, and then all because Gruden didn't want him, and he wins the Super Bowl the same year. But yeah, dude, it was a little frustrating, but I do think they could beat Washington now that Washington doesn't have the quarterback this week. I just want to see what Raider team comes out there, and the offensive line, man. That's the problem. I think I said that before the season started to you guys.
That's a big problem.
Big issue. Especially when you have a team division like that, because we may have the hardest division in the whole league. So
I was watching this Dark Side of the NFL on Vice TV or something the other day, and it was about the Raiders and about starting a little bit with when they came into the league, Al, and then Lyle Alzado and all the craziness with him,
Ted Hendricks,
Bill Romanowski, and how insane he freaking was, and
poking people in the eye, spitting in their face.
Yeah, he was not a nice dude. But they had it was actually pretty interesting. You should check it out if you can find it online. It was pretty good.
The thing with the Raiders, they are I was listening to Michael Irvin said this the other day. Michael Irvin was talking about how he was stretching before a game one day, and Al walked up to him, Al Davis, and he's like, "You would look great in a Raider uniform." And Irving said, everyone respected Al Davis. He was like the mafia kingpin on the NFL. If you were going to go anywhere, he said that would be a team you'd want to go to. And I saw we were talking about back in the day, people would say when the Raiders would get off the bus at the stadium when they were visiting, you would actually fear them back in the day, because they were just such a polarizing.
Oh, fuck yeah! I mean, they were scary, dude.
Wow, yeah. And that was obviously it was a whole different time period now, but hopefully, I have hope at least. Last year I had no hope, so this year I have a little bit of hope. But like I said, Washington, got to beat them next week. Got to turn it. We're in second place. As ridiculous as it sounds, only 2 weeks in. They are 0-2, the Chiefs, so we are in second place. We're tied for it.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how that whole division goes down this year. So let's do some picks for this coming week. Let me just do this real quick.
And Robert Redford, huh?
What about
passed away? He's dead.
Did he really?
He died today. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Robert Redford died today. Man, it's crazy. Lindbergh from At the Gates passed away, which is a metal band. But man, that's 2 today. Usually it goes in 3s, and it always does.
All right. Well, let's hope it's nobody we know. All right. So the first
Well,
game's Thursday night, Miami at Buffalo. Buffalo is a 12.5-point favorite on this one. Yes, Jay, I do remember when no one fucked with the
yeah.
Devils. Those were good days. And
Scott Stevens, baby.
yeah, it's not going to be this year. But all right, so Buffalo is favored by 12.5 points. We're not going to do spreads, so just give me your winner.
Buffalo.
This one, I don't even know if Miami should show up. I mean, this is ugly.
This is the kind of game, though, that like you say this, and then Sunday, it's like, they pull it off somehow. And you're like, what? That's why it's any given Sunday, because I've seen that shit
Thursday.
before.
It's any given
Or
Thursday.
Thursday. Never mind. They're fucked then.
Yeah, short week, and they have to go to Buffalo. At least they get to play Buffalo when it's warm. All right, so you got Green Bay and Cleveland. Green Bay, the game is in Cleveland. Green Bay is an 8.5-point favorite against the Browns.
Green Bay.
You gonna take them? What'd you do with the points? Would you take them with the points?
8.5, you said?
Yeah.
I'd probably still take them, to be honest.
Yeah, after what Baltimore did to them last week, I'm with you.
I'd probably still take them.
The Rams are heading to the champs to go play in Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a 3-point favorite. This is a rematch of the divisional playoff game last year that the Rams were driving, and I think in the snow. And I think Stafford threw an interception on 4th down or whatever to lose it.
Oh, yes.
It was a good game. So
I'm going to go with the Rams.
You're going to go with the Rams?
Because, they're going to lose Philly, and the Rams could be the team that beat them. I would not be surprised at all by that, especially watching Philly, even though they beat Kansas City, you could see it. And if Stafford's healthy, Stafford could beat anybody.
I'm going to take the Rams too.
There you go.
All right. Indianapolis against the Titans. Indy is a 3.5-point favorite.
Indy.
I'm with Indy.
I'm going to ride the Jones train for a few weeks.
I am a Colt fan right now. Atlanta is going down to Carolina. Atlanta is favored by 5.5. Who you got?
Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Atlanta takes this one. Vegas going down to Washington. Oh, they'll be just an hour and a half away from me.
It's a 1:00 game too. It'll be nice. 8 o'clock.
3.5-point favorite for Washington. No Jaden Daniels. Marcus Mariota is starting. What do you got?
I don't ever pick against the black. Even though I never pick against them, I'm going with the Raiders, and I think they're going to, with the quarterback issue going on, I definitely think this is a win for them.
I'm going to take the Raiders too, just because of that. I mean, Jaden Daniels is their entire team.
Big difference. Yeah. Big difference, yeah.
Pittsburgh is going to New England, and the Steelers are 1.5-point favorites against the Patriots.
I'm going to go New England.
That's a tough one, actually.
It's definitely tough.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh. Then we got the Jets are going down to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are a 7-point favorite. I don't know about Justin Fields if he's playing. I don't know if he was ruled out. So if not Justin Fields, you have Tyrod Taylor. What do you got?
Tampa's tough at home. Jets, I mean, I don't know what team you're going to get. You're going to get the week 1 team. You're going to get week 2 team. That's the question. Plus, like you said, injuries is a big thing. I just think Tampa has to be a little pumped from the last game. It's a home game. I just can't picture them losing that one.
I'm with you. I'm going to take Tampa too. All right, Sunday, 1:00, Cincinnati. The Joe Burrow-less Cincinnati are heading to Minnesota to take on the McCarthy-less Vikings. Vikings, for some reason, are 3-point favorites in this one. Who do you got?
I'm going to go Minnesota, and it would actually be, if Burrows was playing, I'd have a different pick, but I'm going to go with, I'm sure Minnesota wants to, after last week, you got nothing you could do but go up. So, like you said, it was a shitty game, right? When you see your team play a shitty game, you can admit it. Like, that's why you have to hope that they would, pick it up. And like you said about backups too, your team has been successful with backups. You have a history of this. So
it's so crazy how we, you go back to 2000 and what was it, 17, right? I think that was the year. Am I right about that? Doesn't matter. But like Sam Bradford, right? You trade for him. Teddy Bridgewater blows his knee up in training camp. You have a solid team ready to go. You trade a 1st-round pick to Philadelphia to take Sam Bradford because they have Carson Wentz waiting in the wings. And now Sam Bradford comes. The Vikings start out 5-0. Then he gets the elbow injury. Case Keenum comes in and takes him to the NFC Championship game. The Minneapolis Miracle, that's all under Keenum. So we have had these backups step
Yep.
in that were able to kind of take a team pretty far. I even think, what was it, 2000? I believe that was a backup that took us to the NFC Championship game. So it doesn't really matter. But I'm okay with Carson Wentz. I'm going to go with the Vikings too. I think they're going to be ready. I think they're going to play a lot better game. They should have their offensive line back. Darisaw should be back. I'm not sure what Brian Kelly, whether or not he's playing. I know he was out in the concussion protocol. I don't know if Blake Cashman's coming back. I don't know what their injury status looks like, but if they can get some of these guys back, it's in Minnesota. I'll take the Vikings. Then we got Houston going to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a 0.5 point favorite, so it's essentially a pick 'em. Houston, Jacksonville. What do you got?
Flip of a coin. I'm going to go Houston.
Me too. They're 0-2. I think they're going to pull the win out. They're going to beat Jacksonville. I agree with you. Okay, we have Denver going to the Chargers. 2.5 point favorite. Chargers are 2.5 point favorite. Divisional game. What do you got, Tone?
I'm going to go with the I'm going to go with Los Angeles Chargers on this one. I just don't know what Denver's another one of those teams. Like, I don't know exactly. They're good. They're definitely good. Bo Nix is definitely better than I thought he was, but what team is going to show up, and plus Denver's probably going to, I will say this though, Denver's going to be pretty bitter from this last game, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
So, that could play into it, but I'm going to go with Herbert and the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers too. I think they're playing very good football right now.
Dude, that defense is so huge, bro. I didn't realize till last night watching them.
Yeah.
Like and then even with injuries, they just got another huge monster coming off the bench every time, man. It's I think they have, if I remember correctly last night on the graphics, it said that they 14 free agents this year San Diego bought in, or
wow,
Los Angeles bought in.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Chargers. I like Harbaugh. I think he knows what he's doing. He's a heck of a coach. So
I remember how old are we? I remember him when he was a quarterback. I mean,
yeah,
I totally
playing for the Colts.
Him with the Colts. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you got Dallas going to Chicago. Somebody needs to explain to me how Chicago is a 1.5 point favorite in this. But
because Dallas could have won both games that they just. I mean, I will give Dallas this. Like the last two games, CeeDee Lamb catches a couple of those passes in the first game, they win that game. Lamb looked great just last game. Dak's been playing better than I thought he would. I'm a total not a Dallas fan at all, but I think Dallas is going to win that game. Like I said, I think they could have been 2-0 if they.
They're 1-1.
Yep, could have been 2-0.
So I like Dallas too. I think Chicago stays winless, I should say. I don't know what's going on with Chicago. I mean, they were absolutely embarrassed last week, up and down the field. The Lions whooped the shit out of them. I don't know how you come back from that.
And they gave Minnesota a tougher game than they gave.
Yeah.
They just got smoked this last weekend. It was
absolutely.
People actually kind of thought, maybe Chicago's just the way they. I mean, I heard it a few times, like, they played Minnesota. Maybe they can hang in there. No, they couldn't hang at all.
Ben Johnson knows what they're going to do on offense. He's going to have an answer for everything. When you don't have the players, it doesn't matter if you have the answers to the test. It doesn't matter if your guys can't actually fucking do it. Exactly. All right. You got the Cardinals heading out to San Francisco, divisional game. The Niners are favored by 1.5 points. What do you got on this one?
I'm going to go Arizona. Because I'm the same way exactly. I'm going to go Arizona only because I'm going to mix it up a little bit because me and you kind of agree on most of these games. So I'm going to say Arizona because I do believe it's a game they could pull off. So yeah, I like it. Again, that's another game that I just have not much interest in. But
I'm going to take the Niners just because it's there. That's kind of the only thing I'm going. It's in San Fran. So, all right. Then we got Sunday Night Football. Kansas City heading to New York to play the Giants. Heading to New Jersey to play the Giants. Kansas City is 6.5 point favorites.
Yeah, they'll win. I mean, I'd like to see the Giants beat them, but yeah, they'll win. I think
KC gets their first win.
Yeah, it's a game I would love to be wrong about, but I do think they they have to. I mean, really, if you think about it, if you're KC and in that locker room, you have to win this game.
They lose this game to the Giants and go 0-3.
Yeah.
Then it's panic time in
Dramaville
Kansas City, right? Yeah. I'm going to take the Chiefs too. Even though I mean I thought the Giants played so much better last week than they did week 1, but I still don't trust Russell Wilson. Monday night, this is gonna be a game. Detroit Lions in Baltimore. Baltimore is a 5.5-point favorite. This game should be fun as hell. What do you got?
So I'm going to say Detroit kicks their ass. Actually, like I'm thinking it's going to be. I'm going to say at least by 10 points. I mean, I know we don't do that, but I just for some reason can picture Detroit. I mean, of course, Baltimore's a monster, but I'm going to go. I think Detroit's going to have a game that night against them.
I want to look up real quick.
And if I'm wrong, Tim's going to be like, "What the fuck?" But I
I
have a feeling.
I was going to say, if I remember correctly, the last time they played, they kicked the shit out of the Lions. Yeah, it was October 22nd last year. It was a 38-6 whooping.
So that'd be a revenge game, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Baltimore. It's in Baltimore. They look for real. I mean, yes, Detroit looked awesome last week, but then they looked terrible against the Packers. So are the Packers really good and Detroit somewhere in the middle? Is Chicago really bad and Detroit's really good? So I don't know. This game's going to kind of lay things out. Which Detroit team are we going to see? The one that lost to Green Bay or the team that just whooped up on the Bears? I like Baltimore. I mean, I just can't go with Detroit. I just can't. Not against a really good team. I have to just keep my fingers crossed and go with Baltimore. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I mean, who did I see? That Eminem when Barry Sanders were sitting up in a booth together on Sunday.
Yeah, they love bringing back Eminem and Barry Sanders. It's like the only two Detroit celebrities that they have. It's like the way the Bears are always celebrating the 1985 Bears. Like you have nothing else. You have nothing else since 1985. So like seriously, for the last 40 years, this team has just done nothing. So when you pan to a crowd in Chicago and like half of the guys are dressed up like Mike Ditka, your team is really stuck in the fucking past.
I remember that Super Bowl too because it was Tony Eason and Steve Grogan were the quarterbacks for the Patriots.
That's right.
I remember that was one of the first Super Bowls I really remember as a kid because my dad had a Super Bowl party and there was people at the house, and I remember the Patriots had those white, the white helmets with the. Which I always think even though I hate the Patriots, those old retro uniforms, even the Broncos when they wear the blue helmet with the, it just looks better. I'm just not into the new stuff, but dude, that was a long time ago now. I mean, think about that, but yeah, they do. That's Chicago. That is the thing. I mean, they had the Super Bowl Shuffle. It was like, obviously Walter Payton, but I can still picture McMahon with the white headband on and the sunglasses rapping.
Yeah, it was terrible. I mean, the fact that they have a fucking song before they even went into to play that season, like you're making a song called Super Bowl Shuffle. It's pretty ballsy.
How funny would that have been if they'd have lost?
And I'll tell you, it's funny that you say that that was the first Super Bowl you watched. That might be the first Super Bowl that I really remember sitting down and watching because my mother was watching it. And she didn't watch football, but she always watched the Super Bowl. So I was like 9 or 10 or whatever. And I sat down with her and I just remember watching the Bears kick the living shit out of the Patriots. And I was just thinking to myself, like, are they playing both in the NFL? Like this team looks so much better than the other team. But I still was not a fan of either one.
Chicago was so hyped up. I remember Domino's Pizza, I think, they had a whole thing going on with the Bears. Like, it was like, dude, it was like, that was during the NFL sticker books. Remember that when you were a kid?
Sure.
The old NFL sticker books and stuff, man. But yeah, it was, God, that was the last time I remember the Bears really being, it was only that one season after that, right? I don't think after that it was McMahon. I don't even know. I'd have to remember his stats, but I don't think McMahon. How did he do after that?
McMahon was not a very good quarterback.
Yeah.
And now he can barely remember his own name. The guy has taken so many concussions. Like he's in a bad shape. But he actually had a decent year or so in Minnesota. He came to Minnesota for a few years. I don't think
he was like Charlie Sheen in Major League when he was with the Bears. He kind of had that thing going on. You know how Charlie Sheen was like? That was kind of his thing with that team.
Absolutely. he was the quote unquote bad boy of football. They used to always, call him. And you look at him now, it's like, dude, he was the most ridiculous looking guy in the fucking world. Like you said, with the stupid sunglasses, the headband, but he was just a wing it quarterback. Like, he was not a good quarterback, Jim McMahon, but he was a guy that'll just take a hit. He can get the ball to where it needs to go, but don't expect him to play like Peyton Manning on schedule. Like, he was a guy that would get his ass kicked. He would take 10 hits just to land one.
That kind quarterbacks, man. Like, look at Warren Moon, what he had to do to get respect. I mean, some of these guys, man. Yeah, Warren Moon was. I always felt like he always had to try to prove himself. I never understood why, because I thought he was.
You don't understand why? In the 1980s in the NFL,
you know what I'm saying? He was never like. I just, I mean, you had Bernie Kosar back then. Those guys, Bobby Hebert for the Saints and stuff. That was fun, man. Some of those quarterbacks back then, it was God, yeah. You start thinking of some of those names. I mean,
was watching a Super Bowl. It was I think it was Dallas's third Super Bowl. I think it was like one of the documentaries on Netflix about Dallas, the third one that they won with Barry Switzer against Pittsburgh. Cheerleaders.
Dallas has a cheerleader special on Netflix.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they have a whole series. Like, yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about.
No. So this was the one with Barry Switzer won, and I forgot Neil O'Donnell was the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers back then.
Bobby Brister was that Bobby Brister as backup?
Yeah. I mean, there were
Raiders
so many
had Mark Wilson, Jim Plunkett, Steve Berline. Jesus.
I liked Steve Berline. I remember when the Vikings in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, they were rotating basically every game. Rich Gannon and I think it was Wade Wilson and Rich Gannon. Then they had Sean Salisbury in the mix. These are some old school bad quarterbacks.
Cowboys had, I remember with Danny White when I was a kid. They had Randy White, Jim Too Tall Jones back then. Yeah. Rich Gannon, I tell you what, he went to the Raiders, man, and we liked him. I mean, I still think of what's his name from the Ravens, Saragusa didn't fall on his ribs, man. That was a great Raider team that year.
It was a great playoff game.
Yeah. Rich Gannon, it was weird because he was with Kansas City too, right? As he was doing the KC thing for a while.
I think he was drafted by the Patriots. Then he was traded to Minnesota. And then I think he ended up going to KC and then
with DeBerg. I think it was DeBerg and Gannon maybe there.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right.
KC. God, man, some of these names, yeah.
The
good old days.
All right, Tony. Anything else you want to share for tonight for our silly little football show?
No, man. Devils related. Anything going on that you heard? I mean, obviously besides the usual news and the camp and stuff.
We talked a little bit last night about there was the story out that Kirill Kaprizov rejected the $16 million AAV offer from the Minnesota Wild.
Nice.
And there was an article in Pucks and Pitchforks written about okay, the Devils can't spend $16 million and sign Kirill Kaprizov, but would you be against $9 million for this year? Basically make a trade to Minnesota, bring this guy in as a one-year mercenary and try and win the Stanley Cup, knowing that he's going to walk at the end of the year. He's going to go to free agency. All you have to do is pay his final year on his deal. Do you bring him in as that mercenary and just go for it? So we talked a little bit about that, but curious, what do you think?
No.
Why?
I mean, just don't think our team is built to win this year. I even think with him, I don't know. What sucks is I saw the Rangers are on his short list for this too. I don't know if it's just a rumor or not, but I did see that.
No, it's not a rumor. He's on their short list. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you look at
Of course, I want to see him. I always say on the show, you got to make some moves to see something happen. I just, just like you said, he's not going to sign back here. This is 1 year.
No, but deal. You wouldn't want him to. That's the other thing. You can't afford
What does he want?
Well, he turned down $16 million, if that's true, which would make him the highest paid player in the league, and he turned it down, which means what? He just wants more money. He doesn't want to play in Minnesota, and if that's the case, you should have told Billy Guerin, "Hey, look, Bill, I'm gonna play out my contract, and then I'm going to free agency. I'm going to see what happens. I really don't have much interest in signing right now. So let me go to free agency and we'll see how things turn out." But he never said that because they were negotiating a contract, and then you come back you negotiated the highest contract in the NHL, and then you turned it down. Why? I'm confused by that whole thing. I don't understand it.
Well, she's trying to put it out there, like this is what I'm gonna want, and like line up and see what. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of odd.
So, like, if the Rangers go and trade for him,
it's gonna suck.
Yeah, it might suck this year, but then next year when you have to, because let's say you didn't sign him, and I mean, if he turned down 16 million, and say, okay, so let's even say he accepted 16 with the Rangers, and now they're also paying. What's Shesterkin getting, like 13 now or something?
Oh yeah, I think it's like 13.5 or something.
Maybe? Yeah, so let's say 13. Let's say you go to 16 on the other one. You're talking about the 29, almost $30 million to your salary cap going towards 2 players. That could be a problem. I mean, if the Rangers want to do it, I say go ahead and do it. You're going to have to get rid of a lot of guys and a lot of big contracts, but I can't see what do the Rangers have. The Rangers would have to move off of a lot of big contracts. So you're going to have to trade those. Minnesota doesn't want old guys. They're not going to want Panarin or Zibanejad or anybody like that. They want the younger guys or prospects or whoever. So I don't know. It's curious. But so you're saying no only because you don't think the Devils are ready to make a push? You don't think?
Yeah, I don't think I'm as confident as everybody else in the puckers. Like with all of us guys, I think I'm probably the least confident in injuries is obviously, as we always say, it's going to be a huge thing, but there's just some kind of feel right now. I don't know what Devils team's going to go out there. I have so many question marks on the team, like with just guys and I do like guys like Mercer and stuff, but I don't know if we make that move, is that enough, or are we going to make several moves? Then I don't know. I'm kind of, I guess, I wouldn't hate it, but I also think it might be a mistake. I don't know. It's a hard question, man. Yeah, I'd have to think about that because I thought about when I saw his name out there, I was like, oh, it'd be interesting, Then right when I see the Rangers on there, I'm like, oh, I don't want them to go there, of course. So, because
like we'll talk more about this when we do another Uncle Pucker show. But let me just ask you this question: let's say that you can trade, completely hypothetical, Andre Palat, Dawson Mercer, Seamus Casey, and a pick to Minnesota for Kirill Kaprizov for just this year at $9 million. Do you do it?
It's kind of hard not to.
I would do it.
Hard not to. At the end of the day, you get rid of that contract for Palat that you want to get rid of. I do like Mercer, but I don't know what Mercer we're going to get. Casey, I don't know. You just never know with some of these kids. You think, but you don't know. And the picks, I'm tired of picks. We have so many picks, it never works out.
I'm with you. The Mercer one, okay, like you said, Palat, you're finally off the contract, and that's good. And you just freed up $6 million, and you only have to come up with $3 more million to pay Kaprizov. And then Mercer would suck because we have him for 3 more years at a friendly team contract, but you have to give to get. I get that. So he goes. Seamus Casey's the one that would hurt. I like Seamus Casey a lot. I think Seamus Casey can do a lot of really good stuff in this league. So that one would hurt. But again, I would be okay with him or Nemec going the other way. If
I heard Nemec, you put on some weight too. I heard good. Like I heard he's actually like a lot bigger this.
I mean, we need him big time to take that next step. So I'm really hoping he can.
I think the thing is, you stay healthy, you make that move. Just say hypothetically, you make that move. You stay healthy, your guys produce that the guys that you kind of question marks on. You make one more move, like maybe you think one more thing. Maybe if it's not even a blockbuster move, but something solid. Maybe maybe the Devils make a run. I mean, you don't. Just so much question marks because the health is the biggest thing. Is we don't even know if half of our captain's going to be healthy the whole season. It's kind of like a lot of. Very curious going into this year. To me, this is a very big Devils year because if you don't make it to say this year, you totally shit the bed again. It's gotta be some.
Heads
you gotta basically take it apart, man. Yeah. You gotta. It sucks, but
if they don't go far and there's not plagued with injuries. In other words, if everybody stays relatively healthy and they still lose in the first round, or they
don't even make it,
right? And then yes, everything has to get blown up. Fitzgerald needs to be put on the unemployment line, and everything. And you have to really rethink the core of the crew that you have, and you're going to have to bring somebody in to make some big moves. I do think that this team, like, I think there are some guys that are going to be at camp in next week and stuff that I think are going to open up some eyes. So, like, what if a guy, like we say, like, we need toughness, right? We need that grit. We need a guy that has no problem, big dude that has no problem getting it. Like Shane LaChance, like, seems to be a guy that might fill that role. So what if, you did decide, you know what, we're going to get rid of these guys. We're going to bring Kirill in, and we're just going to find a guy or two that are young prospects that we can plug into that bottom six. And maybe they can bring an element of toughness and physicality that we need down there. I think that might be a good way to go. It would be interesting. Again, I don't think Tom Fitzgerald has the balls to do something like this.
No, yeah, we don't do
but I wouldn't be against it for just this year. Like, knowing full well, this dude's a fucking mercenary. He's coming in to just kick ass, take names, win a cup, and he's gone. I'd be fine with that.
You hate to say it, but Lou would have done it.
I know he would have.
I'm a Lou lover. I admit it, man. Like, some people, I know I'm outdated, but Lou would have done it. And Lou wouldn't care what we think as fans. He'd be like, "This is what we're doing. This is the way it goes. Make sure your tie's on. Make sure your
1,000% right.
Shaved. Make sure your hair's right, or get off the fucking bus.
Just pull your zipper up, put your dick away. Let's play some hockey.
Dude.
All right, we're going to wrap this thing up this fine Tuesday afternoon. This was a lot of fun. I love doing these shows. Hopefully people start watching them and listening to them. We are going to be doing another Uncle Pucker, an OG Uncle Pucker episode. Hopefully tomorrow. I got to talk to the guys. We'll schedule something, or Thursday. We'll figure it out. But we're going to be getting back to the 2 to 3 shows a week now. Now that the season's ramping up. I mean, I think everybody reports this week. I think tomorrow, like, holy, and then I think a week from the 21st is our first preseason game. So we're getting right into it. So it's coming up quick. So again, wherever you're listening to us, please, wherever you get your podcast, a like, a download, a 5-star review, a positive comment does help the little podcast that could. Also, if you're watching on the Uncle Pucker YouTube channel, hit the subscribe, the alert bell, and the like button. It really helps. And I know every podcast you listen to tells you to do the exact same things, but we really mean it. And if you don't do it, well, there's going to be some problems. So, hi, honey. How are you?
Show your hockey teeth. Show your teeth. She lost the top.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay. All right. We're going to wrap this thing up. So we are the Uncle Puckers. For Tony, I'm Chris, and we will see you when we see you.
Peace.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
That's perfect timing, actually.